They gathered under a bright Turkish sun to remember the dead. It's hard to imagine that this beautiful stretch of coastline was once the scene of bloody horror. 140,000 Allied soldiers and Turks were killed on this, the Gallipoli Peninsula, during one of World War I's most senseless campaigns. Prince Charles and Harry met with descendants of the fallen British soldiers on board the Royal Navy warship HMS Bulwark. Later, the heir apparent joined heads of state to lay a wreath at one of the many services commemorating the centenary of the battle.
We must remember the heroism and humanity of those on both sides who had to leave behind their families from cities, villages and farms around the world to come here and confront the horrors that they did, and in an appalling number of instances, never to see their loved ones again.
The Gallipoli assault started on April the 25th, 1915, after a barrage of naval gunfire. The Allied forces hoped to capture Constantinople and knock the Ottomans out of the war. But the assault was catastrophic. Poor planning led to massive casualties on all sides, and after 9 grim months, Allied forces were in retreat.
Değerli Cumhurbaşkanları,
at this service, the Turkish President Erdogan spoke of reconciliation. The battle is a painful memory. It should never be forgotten. Gallipoli failed to turn the First World War towards a swift conclusion and break the deadlock on the Western Front. But its legacy helped forge the national consciousness of the newly emerged Commonwealth nations, Australia and New Zealand, both countries making a heavy sacrifice. It will, though, ultimately be remembered as a military disaster, which cost the lives of tens of thousands of brave young men. Alex Rossi, Sky News.